My boyfriend hates my best friend. Hello, my name is Cozy and welcome to cozyreads.ke, where I analyze Reddit stories to help you navigate life. Today we are diving into the r/2 hot takes subreddit, where a throwaway account says, I'm at a loss of what to do about this. I'm a senior in college and have been dating my boyfriend for about a year and a half. He is currently in military training, so we are going long distance. His schedule changes basically every day, and the only times we're able to talk is when he is free and able to call me. I always answer no matter what and give as much time and attention to him as I can. Most of my friends from college have come from this one club I've been part of since freshman year. Majority of the group graduated last year, so the only person left that I can still hang out with is my best friend Ivan. Since most of our friends graduated, we've been hanging out more regularly, sometimes with other friends and sometimes alone. Recently, we were hanging out with my best friend when my boyfriend calls me for our daily call. I answered and he asks where I am. I tell him I'm at Ivan's apartment. He gets pissed, saying there's no reason I should be alone with him in his apartment, that it's incredibly disrespectful to him that his girlfriend is hanging out with other men and that he has no way of knowing what we are doing. I reassure him that we are simply friends and have been for years and absolutely nothing weird is going on. But he tells me this has been bothering him for months and he doesn't want me to hang out with him alone anymore. I genuinely do not know what to do. There has never been any feelings whatsoever between Ivan and I. I've never given my boyfriend any reason to believe I'm cheating or being dishonest about anything. He also had met Ivan so many times before he left for the military. I'm literally just hanging out with my best friend. Ivan also has a girlfriend that I love and hangs with us when she visits, but my boyfriend is completely set in his belief that I shouldn't hang out with any men alone when he's not there. Any men alone? Yeah. I understand I might understand the issue of having a BF, a best friend who's a male, but any man alone when he's not there? That's a bit of a red flag, but let's move on. This is especially frustrating because I'm bisexual and he has never said that about me spending alone time with women. And also, the reason my boyfriend and I even met was because another male friend introduced us. This same male friend is still in both of our lives, and I've hung out alone with him plenty of times. Is there any way I can further prove to him that nothing is going on? I feel like I'm going crazy. I do not want to stop seeing my only friend left on campus when I have done nothing wrong. Ooh, okay. I don't know, but in my analysis, there's so many red flags in this. Tons of red flags. And before I start, I understand that some people may not be incredibly comfortable with maybe your female friend or even your boyfriend having besties who are, the opposite gender. I understand that could be an issue, but when he says, I don't want you hanging out with any male people, that's crazy. That to me is crazy. So red flag number one that I'm seeing here is some very serious controlling behavior. Him telling you can't spend time with Ivan, especially focusing on the male friends. That's a controlling behavior. The fact that he got pissed made it clear that he doesn't want you hanging out with male friends alone, regardless of the context. That shows weird things, especially because this friendship existed before him and it was non-romantic. So I just don't understand. There's also a double standard here. Red flag number 2, double standard. He's okay with you spending time alone with women and you're bisexual, but he has a problem with you spending time alone with men. But in both instances, he could still be cheated on. Are you seeing the issue that I'm having here, guys? There's a double standard here. If he was upset, he should have this. No, the double standard is not okay. Number 2, there's a lack of trust because currently I'm in a long distance relationship. So wherever my boyfriend is, he's there. And I trust that nothing is going on with whoever he's doing, with whatever he's doing in his place. I just have to have that trust, basically. So the fact that she's trying to reassure him and he still doesn't trust her, like, by the way, men out there, if you cannot trust your girl around any male friends or any male, are you sure that's a person you want to be with if you can't trust them, So for me here, there's a serious lack of trust. That is red flag number 3. Red flag number 4 is the inconsistent logic. Okay? your relationship started because a guy introduced you to him. So from the get-go, he's known you've had male friends, but he had no problem with that. But now because you are hanging out with a male friend, there's already a problem. So ladies, tafadhali, make sure when your man is talking to you, his logic is consistent. If it's inconsistent, there's some problems there. The next red flag I'm seeing is communication. This has been bothering him for months, but he's now just speaking about it. Tafadhali, can we communicate when we're in a relationship? If you're feeling like something is wrong, or you're feeling like this is behavior that I don't like, you need to tell your partner with immediate effect. Because the longer you keep on ignoring it and thinking that they're going to change, people are not mind readers out here. Okay, I can't read your mind and see what's wrong or what's happening. So the next red flag, communication is terrible. Terrible, terrible. The last red flag I'm seeing is, could this be a pattern of control? Because this could be the start of more controlling behavior. Like first it could start with, okay, you can't hang out with male guys. And then it will go to, you can't wear that kind of dress. And then it will go to, you can't leave the house without me. Like as much as I might be exaggerating, but this could be the start of the controlling behaviors, because people always wonder, how do people get into abusive relationships? That's how. Abusive relationships never start off as huge red flags. A guy will not go from taking you out to dinner and being romantic and being sweet to hitting you the next day. That's not how abusive relationship starts. They start small incremental shifts and changes that you make to try and please your partner. Over time, eventually you lose yourself. He chips away at you until eventually there's nothing there left. And then you realize, oh my God, I'm in an abusive relationship. But as I dive deeper into this analysis, because I'm seeing that this guy is military, is it a projection of his own insecurities? Maybe, because I've heard a lot about people in the military, especially in US. Those guys, they cheat 24/7. So perhaps he's projecting on. So perhaps it's a projection. Maybe he's feeling like, because I know the kind of behaviors that I have, and I'm away from her, I can't really monitor anything. I'm feeling like she's cheating, and sometimes, most of the time, really a lot of men do this. So if you're not the type of man to do this, I'm not talking about you, but there's a ton of men who do this when they are the ones in the relationship cheating, and they then project that bad behavior onto the other partners, and then they start accusing them, oh, I know you're cheating, I know you're doing this, I know you're doing that, but the reality is it's probably just their own guilt. But because they don't want to feel that guilt, they project onto you, and they're like, you are the problem, not me. So tafadhali, check this out. Is he projecting onto you? I don't know. So those are my red flags, but my recommendation would be set boundaries, okay? First, before you give this up. Set boundaries. Let your boyfriend know that you do respect his feelings, but you don't want to cut off a meaningful friendship, especially when she's already saying, there's no other people I hang out with. This is my last friend. Everyone else has graduated. And that's another also red flag, where he could also be trying to isolate you, because that's what abusers do. They isolate you. They get you away from your friends. They tell you your family is toxic, and they're like, I'm the only one you can depend on. So sometimes, ladies, when you're dating, tafadhali, watch out for those things. If he's trying to, I understand sometimes you could have friends who are toxic, but is he trying to isolate you from everyone, or are there just specific people that he's trying to isolate you from? And then talk about it. So set some boundaries. Let him know that you're not going to cut off, and you want to maintain your independence and your own autonomy. And if he has an issue with that, then perhaps this isn't the relationship for you. Suggest also counseling. I don't know. But also, after you've told him about this boundary, evaluate his reaction. Like, after you've expressed your feelings, like, gauge his response. Is he willing to compromise, or is he just like, no, this is what I want, and you're either gonna do it or you're not? Because there's some people who are also like that. So yeah. Also, ladies, why don't we think long term? Is this an actual relationship that you want to be in with a person who is behaving this way? Because frankly, for me, I don't know. Can you trust that this jealousy and control will not escalate over time? Because that's the thing that really worries me. And that's how women get into, toxic relationships. So my advice on whether she should stay or leave, I think stay if he's willing to communicate, and if he's willing to listen and address the insecurities in a healthy way, in a way where you can both talk about it, and you can be like, hey, this is what I'm feeling, and this is what I'm feeling, and you can just talk about it calmly and see if he is able to accept it. If not, I think it's time to go, girl. You know, I think it's time to go. Cause some men, I don't know, to each their own, but yeah, so freaking slow. Anyways, let's head into the community comments and see what people told her on the post. So, someone says, Best Mommy says, these comments are a mess. There is nothing inherently wrong with having opposite gender friends or hanging out with them. You didn't do anything wrong. The fact of the matter is, there is almost no way to reassure your boyfriend because he has made up his mind. It's especially hard with military guys because the nature of their work and social time is only based around other dudes and they are swapping stories every day about cheating, being cheated on, etc. It's simply very common in the context of what he's doing. Regardless of how wrong it is or it isn't, to continue to hang out with your friend like before, your boyfriend is no longer comfortable with it. Your only options are to apologize for upsetting him and move your hangouts with Ivan to exclusive public places or whatever boundary compromise you and your boyfriend can come up with, or decide if this is a deal breaker for you and end the relationship. I'm not going to encourage you either direction because neither are right or wrong, but now this is a conversation that has been had. Those are your two options. I would only advise that you keep an eye on this and not let him creep in more controlling behaviors in the long term if you do not make this adjustment for him in the meantime, because it can become a slippery slope. Yeah, exactly as I was saying. This is how the controlling behavior starts. So, the original poster comes in and replies, "Thank you for this. He tells me a lot about how his military buddies are constantly cheating on their girls and vice versa. He goes out drinking with them and even to strip clubs, and I've never said shit because I trust him. So this just feels extremely unfair to me." Oh, okay. So we are seeing, guys, are you seeing? Still more double standards. Ladies, careful. Careful. Understanding girlfriend, tafadhali. So Larry Batch 99 says, "You're not crazy, but this is unmanaged. You're not crazy, but his unmanaged anxiety is. Why don't you ask if he believes to his core that you cannot exist next to a man without being inappropriate? If yes, there's no convincing him otherwise. If no, then considering he was there before your boyfriend and towards has happened, no old crushes, there's zero reasons to legitimately be upset. So he can't seek ways to cope because it seems your reassurance is just not going to cut it." Then the OP comes in and replies, "He genuinely believes it's impossible for men and women to be close friends without someone secretly wanting to F the other. I don't know how to communicate. That's not at all what's going on, and it never will be." Then the person replies and says again, "Is it a matter of communication that he just doesn't understand the words you're using? Not for nothing, I think it's really lame that he doesn't see women as people worthy of friendship and just something to eventually F." That is also true. His only female friendships have been friends with benefits. So it's true for him. I don't think he understands it's not the same for me. I have very low sex drive and hardly ever think about people that way outside of my romantic relationships. Yeah. This is crazy, and it's true because sometimes men do view women as nothing but, sexual objects. That's all they see you as. They cannot fathom that a woman can have a brain, that she can have something nice to say, or that she can improve your life in some way. Some men truly believe that way, and let's not act like they don't, especially African men, Kenyan men, especially the old generation. They really don't see any value in women unless they're sexual objects or they're just to please them. So also watch out for your man. It could be misogynistic. Anyways, Royal Mushroom says, "By the standards of some of these comments, because I'm a woman that dates women, I can't be friends with other women, but it's fine if I have male friends. Y'all are truly wild. A cheater will cheat regardless if you can't trust. A cheater will cheat regardless. If you can't trust your partner not to cheat, then don't trust them to be in a relationship that probably isn't salvageable." The OP replies and says, "I'm bisexual and have female friends as well that he's never had an issue with. He said it's different because men are different, but I don't believe that." Well, to me, I give you guys my recommendation. I think that she should just sit down, try and have a conversation with him and see if he's able to tone down his issues and actually be able to have that conversation and, see what's going on. If he can't, there's not really much we can do, ladies. you know. So it's up to her to really make that decision. She has to sit down and see, is this a relationship that I want to continue, or is this a relationship that I don't want to continue? Anyways, guys, let's dive into the r/Nairobi subreddit and get some palate cleanser action. So, Young Alternative 55 says, help me get rid of her. There's this woman in my neighborhood whom I've eyed for a while. She's a MILF. We throw clues here and there. So I finally approached her and introduced myself. She was very hot until she started speaking in a very thick Kamba accent. Nika reset for the rest of the conversation, lakini haidhuru. I'd still wanna hit it. A few days later, she came at my door. Nikajua bas, this is it. I opened up. She was smiling slyly. Akanisho she has water problems at her apartment. Maji haifiki juu ya pressure. Nikajiambia, I know this game woman. I've been here before. So I said, yeah, sure. Come in and help yourself. She went in and came with like a few jerry cans. Akachota maji. Kumbe she was serious. Ay! Nikasema ni sawa. From here onwards, akaanza kuja kuniomba maji kila time. And every time I thought she probably wanted us to do it, but it turns out she was literally just needing water. Oh my god, man! Guys, stop thinking with a D sometimes, okay? It's never that serious. God damn it. So the other day, she came with her kid. A little girl about 4 years old into my house. Na mimi ni bachelor. I was like, F, your mama ni nani? You never bring kids into men's houses. I was so freaked out. So after she was done fetching water, I was thinking of all the ways villainizer Nigeuzia have done shit to her kid and such. You know, there's really no defense. I need advice on how to get rid of her. Stucky issues, especially with the kid. I've had stories. So this is a classic situation of a guy thinking with his D, my friend, she literally just wanted water. Oh my god. Anyways, let's get into the comments and see what people told him. So, GladU720 says, OP, jifunze kusema no to people. Bwana, it's your house. The OP replies and says, I will, but how do I say it now without kuharibu maneno? Someone else replies and says, I can act as your girlfriend. At a fee, of course. I work with or without a script. Extra K to open the door with a lesson. Kenyans are hilarious. Then, Dakent Mativa says, Mafia, I guess. Why act surprised at she's there just for water? And you know she is from Ukambani. Next time a Kamba person borrows water, usimisread at his signs. Kambas and water is a thing. W says, hold up just a sec. Super what now? Ama ni judem ni mkamba. And the rest of the comments is just laughing. User01 says, next time akikam, just undress. Wacha kio akuone uchi. Make sure you're extremely comfortable with your nudity, or look for another chick to always be coming over. Dawa ya dem ni dem most of the time. The OP replies and says, you win, hands down. The naked man from the apartment. I love it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for reading and watching the video. If you enjoyed, tafadhali, please subscribe. I'm at cozyreads.ke on all platforms. I'm on Instagram, I am on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, and I'm right here on YouTube as cozyreads.ke. So please like, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, send me your feedback and let me know what you think down below. Do you think the first story, the lady should leave or should she stay? What advice would you give? Anyways, thanks for watching and see you next time.